It is 1:47 a.m., the lamp is still on, and the tea beside you has gone cold. On the table, there is a small old key. You are not sure why you have never put it away. Outside, the rain has not stopped all night. From the outside, your life may look completely fine, but tonight, one thought feels impossible to ignore. I do not want to keep living this way. Not because you want life to end, but because you want to feel present inside it again. You do not need to leave anything before morning. You do not need to make a dramatic decision tonight. Stay a little longer. Tonight, we are not solving anything. We are only listening. The old key remains on the table. Beside it, the cold tea reflects a small piece of amber light. Rain continues to move down the window, gathering in thin lines before disappearing beyond the wooden frame. The lamp is still on. Nothing in the room has changed since a few moments ago. The notebook remains closed. The folded blanket still rests unevenly on the chair. A faint sound comes from the refrigerator in the next room, and somewhere outside, tires move across a wet road before fading into the night. The room looks peaceful. From a distance, it might even look like the kind of room someone would be grateful to come home to. Still, something inside it feels unfamiliar. You may know this feeling. It is not always sadness. It is not always a clear crisis. Nothing has to be visibly broken for a life to begin feeling far away from the person living it. Sometimes distance enters quietly. It appears in the few seconds after the alarm rings, before you remember what the day expects from you. It follows you through the morning while you prepare to become the person everyone recognizes. It sits behind your smile during ordinary conversations. At night, it waits until the lights are low and there is no one left to convince. Then a thought rises, not loudly, not as an emergency, only as a truth that has become too tired to stay hidden. I do not want to keep living this way. The sentence is not about giving up on life. It is about the way life has been arranged. The pace, the role, the expectations, the version of success that looks correct but feels cold when you finally stand inside it. You still want mornings. You still want breath, warmth, gentleness, meaning, and the possibility of feeling at home in your own days. What you no longer want is the constant distance from yourself. Even with that distinction, the sentence can feel frightening. The mind hears a request for honesty and quickly turns it into destruction. It imagines doors slamming, plans collapsing, people becoming disappointed, and years of effort suddenly becoming meaningless. That is why the truth is often pushed away. You tell yourself this is only tiredness. You promise to sleep earlier. A new routine is written in the notebook. The room is cleaned. Another book is ordered. A different podcast plays in the morning. You decide to become more disciplined, more grateful, more focused. For a few days, the old life appears fresh again. A clean desk can make an old direction look new. A full calendar can keep a difficult question from speaking. But organization cannot turn a borrowed dream into a home. Discipline can carry you forward. It cannot decide whether forward is where your heart wants to go. The question eventually returns. It may appear when you receive good news and notice that happiness does not arrive with it. It may come during a meeting, while a familiar voice explains a future that sounds sensible but gives you no warmth. It may come on a quiet Sunday evening when the coming week feels less like life and more like a role you must enter again. There is a specific loneliness in being praised for a life that is making you disappear. People see progress. They see the title, the routine, the plan, the relationship, the city, the responsible choices, or the calm way you explain what comes next. They do not hear the silence after the front door closes. They do not feel the tightness that appears before another ordinary morning. They do not know how often you sit in the car, at the desk, or on the edge of the bed and wait for enough energy to become recognizable again. From the outside, the house has light. Inside, you keep wondering why it does not feel like home. The key on the table catches a brighter piece of amber from the lamp. A key can close a door. It can keep the weather outside and preserve the warmth within. It can protect a room when the night feels uncertain. The same key can also open a door. Protection and possibility can share the same shape. A life can do this too. Something that once protected you can eventually become too narrow. A job may have given stability during a season when stability was urgently needed. A relationship may have offered belonging when loneliness felt impossible. A dream may have given direction when the future was nothing but fog. None of those things have to be called mistakes. Some choices are shelters. A shelter is built because a storm is real. It keeps out the rain. It gives the body somewhere to rest. It creates a small space where tomorrow becomes possible. But surviving inside a shelter does not mean you must spend the rest of your life there. The room may feel too small now. Once, it kept you out of the storm. Both statements can be true. This is where tenderness toward the past becomes important. Do not hate the person who chose this life. That version of you was not foolish. That version was trying to find safety with the map available at the time. There were pressures you may have forgotten, questions you did not know how to answer, needs that felt larger than. Perhaps approval looked like love because nobody had shown you the difference. A clear path felt safer than an honest one because honesty had no guarantee. You chose what could be seen. You chose what could be explained. You chose the door that appeared to offer shelter. That older self deserves compassion, not punishment. Without those choices, you might not have reached the quiet room where a new truth can finally be heard. The past did not betray you by bringing you here. It carried you as far as it could. Now the map is different. The person reading it is different too. The rain becomes steadier for a moment. Each drop meets the glass, travels down, and joins another until the view outside turns soft. It is difficult to admit that a dream has changed. Dreams are often spoken about as permanent promises. People ask children what they want to become, as if one answer should remain true for an entire lifetime. Later, adults build identities around those answers. The dream becomes part of how family members describe them. It appears in introductions and future plans. Letting it change can feel like embarrassment, even betrayal. Yet dreams are not contracts carved into stone. They are living answers to questions asked by earlier versions of us. The answer can change when the person changes. A dream that helped you wake up 5 years ago may be the reason mornings feel heavy now. A goal that once made you brave may have become a room where there is no place left to sit. Changing your mind does not erase the sincerity of who you were. The old dream mattered. It led you through days that needed direction. It taught you what effort feels like. It may have introduced you to skills, places, and people you still value. The fact that it no longer fits does not make those years empty. A coat can save you through winter and still become unbearable when the season warms. There is no reason to hate the coat. It did its work. It held warmth close when the air was cold. It protected places that needed protection. It made difficult mornings possible, but the season has changed. Keeping it on forever will not prove that winter mattered. It will only make breathing harder in the warmth. The old life may be that coat, heavy now, but once necessary. Familiar enough that putting it down feels like losing part of your body. You do not have to tear it apart. You do not have to deny that it protected you. You can fold it carefully. You can thank it. You can decide not to wear it into the next season. This is not rejection of the past. It is respect for time. Living things change because time touches them. Leaves open, deepen in color, loosen, and fall. Water moves around the shape of the land. A house receives new marks with every season. Only human beings expect themselves to remain loyal to every old form. You are allowed to change without treating change as evidence that something went wrong. The closed door remains across the room. A narrow line of light is visible underneath. The light does not tell you what exists on the other side. It offers no detailed plan. There could be another room, a hallway, or only an unfamiliar place where you must stand for a while. The unknown often feels larger at night. Fear fills empty space quickly. What if the new life is worse? What if the old room was the best you could have? What if people stop understanding you? What if you disappoint someone whose love matters? What if you discover that changing the outside does not quiet the inside? These questions deserve respect. They are not signs of cowardice. They are the mind trying to protect you from loss. Still, protection cannot make every decision. A locked door is safe from uncertainty, but it is also closed to possibility. You do not need to open it tonight. Listening is enough. The urge to transform everything at once often comes from the same impatience that created the wrong life in the first place. Pressure says you must choose quickly. Honesty does not hurry like that. Honesty sits near the table and studies the old key. It asks what the room has given you. It asks what the room now takes from you. It notices that your body becomes smaller every time you describe a future you no longer want. It listens without demanding immediate action. That is the kind of honesty this night can hold. No resignation letter needs to be written before sunrise. No relationship needs to be ended during a moment of exhaustion. No suitcase needs to be packed because one sentence finally became clear. A truth can be real before it becomes a decision. Let it be real first. Let your nervous system learn that hearing your own heart does not automatically create disaster. For many people, this is the first difficult step. They have ignored themselves for so long that listening feels irresponsible. Their worth has been built around being reliable, useful, agreeable, and easy to understand. A personal truth can therefore feel like a threat to everyone who depends on the old version. But your life cannot belong entirely to the comfort of other people. At the end of the day, you are the one who must enter the room. You wake inside the choices. You carry the weight when the compliments become quiet. You know whether the morning feels like an invitation or a sentence. A life does not need to please everyone watching it. It needs to remain livable for the person inside it. That is not selfishness. That is responsibility at its deepest level. You cannot offer a living heart to the world by slowly removing yourself from your own life. There should be room for you somewhere in the future you are building. Not only your work, not only your role, not only the version of you that meets expectations. You, the quiet interests that do not create status, the pace your body can actually survive, the mornings that let you breathe before asking you to perform, the relationships where silence does not feel like punishment, the work that may be difficult but does not require your whole identity as payment. A meaningful life does not need perfect peace. No real life can provide that. There will still be bills, effort, uncertainty, loss, and mornings when motivation does not arrive. The difference is not the absence of difficulty. The difference is whether the difficulty belongs to a life you can recognize. There is hardship in every road, but some hardship leads deeper into yourself, while other hardship repeatedly asks you to disappear. Learning that difference takes time. The body often understands before language does. It tightens around certain conversations. It becomes heavy near certain obligations. It relaxes after a decision is canceled. It offers a small warmth when you imagine a quieter possibility. These signals are not perfect commands. The body can carry old fear. It can become anxious around good changes and calm around familiar harm. Still, it deserves a place in the conversation. You have spent enough time treating the body as a machine required to carry every plan the mind creates. Ask what the body has been trying to say, not as an order, as information. The answer may be simple. I am tired of pretending. I want fewer things, but I want them to feel true. I need time before I choose. I miss the person I was before every interest became useful. I want to wake without immediately becoming a performance. These are not complete plans. A doorway does not need to show the entire landscape to prove that another space exists. The old key does not demand to be used. It simply reminds you that the room is not the whole world. Rain slips slowly down the window. The cup of tea has completely cooled now. The light from the lamp makes a faint circle around the key, the notebook, and the place where the wood has been worn smooth by years of ordinary use. Before returning more deeply to that room, there is a natural place to pause. If this quiet story is giving you space to breathe, you can gently like this episode and subscribe to Calm Rhythm Podcast. It helps this calm space reach another tired mind on another late night, only if it feels right. Now, return to the table. Nothing has been interrupted. The key is still there. The truth is still there. It does not become less meaningful because the room held a brief pause. Open the notebook in your imagination. The first page does not need a plan. Plans can become another way to escape feeling. Write one honest question instead. What part of my life still feels alive? Do not rush to answer. Notice what appears. It may be small. The smell of rain through an open window. A conversation where you did not have to explain yourself. The feeling of working quietly on something nobody had asked you to produce. A walk without tracking the distance. A morning in which your body was not already late. These moments may not resemble the old definition of success. They may not sound impressive when reported to someone else, but they contain information. Aliveness often speaks softly. Pressure speaks in numbers, deadlines, titles, and comparisons. Aliveness speaks through warmth, curiosity, relief, and the desire to stay present a little longer. A second question can follow. What am I pretending to want? Again, wait. The answer may be tangled with duty. You may genuinely care about parts of the current life. Not everything needs to be rejected. A room can contain furniture worth keeping even when the room itself becomes too small. The task is not to divide the past into completely good or completely bad. It is to notice what remains true. The work may not be wrong, but the pace might be. The relationship may contain love, but the role you perform within it may be disappearing. The city may still matter, while the future you imagined there no longer does. A life can be adjusted before it is abandoned. A door can open gradually. The key can turn a little before the whole room changes. This matters because the mind often offers only two choices: remain trapped forever or destroy everything tonight. Life usually contains more doors than that. A conversation, a boundary, a day of rest, a smaller commitment, a different schedule, a private experiment, a season of saving money before changing direction, a return to something meaningful that had been neglected. These are not dramatic exits. They are ways of moving closer to yourself without treating fear as an enemy. The old version of you may become frightened by these possibilities. That is understandable. The old self learned safety through predictability. It may say that any change is failure. It may warn that people will leave. It may remind you how hard the room was to build. Listen with compassion, then answer gently. We are not destroying the shelter tonight. We are opening a window. We are allowing fresh air to enter. We are noticing that the storm has changed. The old self does not need to be removed from the story. It needs to be reassured that honesty can happen without violence. This is the meeting between who you were and who you are becoming. One built the room. The other has begun to notice the door. Neither is the enemy. One brought you here. The other may bring you home. There is grief between them. Grief for the time spent proving. Grief for every morning when the body asked to slow down and was answered with shame. Grief for the interests that were abandoned because they did not look useful. Grief for the version of success that promised belonging but delivered a beautiful empty room. Let the grief exist. It is not asking you to drown in it. It is asking to be recognized. When grief is not recognized, it often becomes numbness. It follows the body into work, food, scrolling, shopping, and sleep. It says nothing directly, but it colors everything. Recognition gives grief a shape. This mattered. I wanted it. I tried. It did not become home. All 4 statements can be true. There is dignity in admitting them. You were not foolish for hoping. You were not weak because the result felt different from the promise. You are not betraying your past by refusing to repeat it forever. The room is darker at the edges now. The line beneath the door has become softer, but it has not disappeared. You are not selfish for wanting a life that does not require you to disappear. You are not ungrateful for needing room to breathe, and you are not betraying your past by admitting that its dream no longer fits your future. Let those sentences remain without adding another lesson too quickly. Give them space. The rain can speak for a moment. The lamp can hold the table. The old key can stay exactly where it is. There is no need to defend yourself to the room. Your desire for a more honest life does not cancel your gratitude for what already exists. Gratitude should not become a lock. You can appreciate shelter and still notice that the air has changed. You can love people and still need a different role. You can respect your work and still admit that its price has become too high. You can honor your past without allowing it to own every year ahead. This is how a life changes without becoming an act of hatred. It does not have to begin with rejection. It can begin with clearer love. Love for the person who survived. Love for the body carrying today. Love for the future self who should not have to inherit every fear from the past. A livable future is an act of care for all 3. Perhaps the new life will be quieter. It may not create the same kind of approval. It may be less polished in photographs and more peaceful on ordinary mornings. There may be fewer achievements to explain and more moments you are actually present to experience. This does not mean ambition must disappear. Ambition can change its purpose. Instead of building a life that proves your value, ambition can help protect what makes life worth living. Enough money to breathe. Enough time to notice the day. Work that uses your abilities without consuming your identity. Relationships where connection does not require performance. A home that feels lived in rather than displayed. These goals are not smaller, they are closer. The world may not celebrate them as loudly. That is all right. The world does not have to sleep inside your choices. You do. There may also be fear that the emptiness will follow you into every new room. This fear deserves honesty. No external change can solve every internal wound. A different job cannot automatically teach self-worth. A new city cannot guarantee belonging. Leaving a role does not immediately reveal who you are without it. This is another reason not to rush. The goal is not to find a perfect room. The goal is to stop arranging your entire life against your own truth. Healing may need to happen alongside change. You can seek support. You can speak with someone trustworthy. You can learn which discomfort comes from growth and which comes from self-abandonment. You can rebuild slowly enough to hear the difference. The key is not a command. It is an option. That may be the most comforting part. Knowing that a door exists can soften a room before you ever open it. You are not trapped in every current form. The schedule can change. The dream can change. The word success can change. Your relationship to yourself can change. Even the meaning of home can change. Home may not be a particular career, city, person, or house. Home may be the experience of no longer leaving yourself outside the door. Home may be the moment your inner truth and outer life begin facing roughly the same direction. Not perfectly, not every day, but enough that the body does not have to fight the morning. Enough that silence does not always reveal a stranger. Enough that the future feels like somewhere you can arrive without disappearing. The first signs of home may be very ordinary. You speak honestly in one conversation. You rest without building a case for why you deserve it. You say no and survive the discomfort afterward. You return to an interest that nobody needs to see. You allow yourself to want something before knowing whether it will become useful. These actions are small, They do not produce the dramatic image of a new life. They produce something quieter: trust. Every time you listen to a true need without immediately attacking it, you teach yourself that honesty is safe enough to continue. That trust becomes the foundation of the next room. The rain has nearly stopped. Only occasional drops move across the glass. The cup remains cold. The notebook is open now, at least in imagination. The key still rests inside its circle of warm light. Nothing has been destroyed. No reckless decision has been made. The room is simply more honest than it was before. That is enough for one night. If you want to leave one quiet sentence in the comments, write, "I am allowed to want a life that feels like mine." Someone else may find those words while sitting in a room that also looks fine from the outside. For now, let the sentence remain close to you. I am allowed to want a life that feels like mine. Not a perfect life, not an easy life, not a life without responsibility, a life where I can breathe, a life where effort does not require disappearance, a life where rest is not treated as guilt, a life where the door can open without the shelter being cursed. The line of light beneath the door is still there. You do not need to follow it tonight. The heavy coat can remain on its hook until morning. You have already done something important. You notice that the season has changed. Tomorrow may still look familiar. The same room, the same work, the same messages waiting. Truth does not always change the outside immediately. It changes the way you move inside it. You may pause before saying yes. You may notice when the old role appears. You may protect 1 hour that used to belong entirely to pressure. You may begin gathering the practical support needed for a future change. These are movements. Quiet movements count. A compass does not travel the road. It only tells you when your direction is changing. Your discomfort may have been a compass all along, not an instruction to destroy the life. A signal that something needs attention. Now it has your attention. It does not need to shout as loudly. Breathe in slowly. Let the room be only a room. Breathe out. Let the life you thought you had to want loosen its grip. Again, a gentle breath in, a longer breath out. You do not need to know what comes after the door. You do not need the perfect plan. You do not need to explain yourself before your own feelings have become clear. The future can remain outside for a few hours. The old life can rest without being defended. The new life can remain unnamed without being feared. You can stand between them with tenderness, between the shelter and the open air, between the coat and the changing season, between the closed door and the small line of light. This middle place is uncomfortable, but it is not empty. It is where truth gathers enough strength to become a careful step. Rest the part of you that has been performing happiness. Rest the part that believed approval would eventually become belonging. Rest the body that carried a dream after the dream had gone quiet. Rest the older self who built the shelter. Rest the future self who has not yet chosen a new room. Both can be held by the same night. The key can wait. The door can wait. The answer can wait. Nothing true will disappear because you sleep. Nothing important must be decided from exhaustion. Let the rain fade into the distance. Let the lamp become softer. Let the cold tea, the open notebook, and the old key lose their sharp edges. The room does not need another performance from you tonight. It only needs your presence. You are still here. You are breathing. You are allowed to become more honest slowly. You are allowed to change without attacking who you were. You are allowed to put down what once protected you when the season becomes warm. You are allowed to want a life that feels like yours. Sleep well. Calm Rhythm Podcast.